Ready when you are.
Ha! I'm Verbz. It's Birdy. It's Liz. It's Jimbo. This is Cross the Street.
Cool. What is good? How are you, Birdy?
Good.
We're here today with Verbz. How are you, my friend?
I'm really good.
He came out today to join us at the Rockwood Disc Golf Park, which we were discussing earlier. Is not a game for the faint of heart. You can go walking for miles and throwing plastic in the woods and drinking and smoking. And
yeah, man. It's also delightful because of that. So yeah, I'm happy to be out here in Gresham. Shout out to the Gresham streets.
We in the numbers. If you watch the show enough, we do bring everybody a gift. Last night, my son and I, we went into Disc and Dice, which is a place where we actually did Birdie Lee's interview.
Yes, check it out.
We picked you up a disc as part of your gift package there.
That's nice. Thank you, guys.
See, word on the street is you are the man to be. I want to be like you. Help me, man. First of all, who is you?
I don't know if you're super good at this game, but at some point we'll have you chuck that bad boy across
not
the park.
super good, but hopefully not going to look like a
Birdie, if you want, you can shoot over there at that basket without getting murdered, maybe.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't know how it works, but don't get murdered.
So during my episode, we were wondering how these things work. So this is my first time. Have you did this before?
Yeah.
Okay, so you show me how you do it.
Let's go. All right, let's try it. Let's try and shoot at the first basket then.
First basket, that's
it's
one
like
over
way
here.
down there, right? You see it? It's like
yeah. So the only thing that I know is you don't want to go too far up.
Ooh, that's good
because it'll
advice.
come back towards you, I think. So you kind of want to keep it lower than you think. Other than that, I don't really know. Put your body into it and point towards the hoop.
Got it.
There you go.
This is just a thesis that you have, correct?
What's up?
This is just a thesis that you have, correct?
Yeah, this is just an idea that I've come up with. We'll see if it passes out. Let's see if you gonna go first, or you want me to go first? All right.
All right. There we go. That's not so bad.
Not great, but it's
right down the middle.
It's online.
Okay.
I like the hat that you got there. That's for the event that you curated the thesis, correct?
Yeah. We have a few thesis hats that we put together. So we've never really done merch very well. So we're starting to do hats and shirts so people can represent the thesis. There we go.
That's a little cricket.
Well, it's close.
We're heading the right direction.
We're going the right way.
Yeah.
I bring up the thesis too because that's a great event that you've curated over what has it been, a couple years now?
So we started, our first show is December 2014, so it's been 8 years
wow.
Coming up on this year, yeah.
Wow, 8 years.
Yeah, it's one of those things that I love.
Here we go. Oh my
I
God.
get to, it's my community, it's where I get to see all my friends, it's where I get most of my hugs. Portland needs outlets for hip hop, so that's what we're trying to do.
I say it on the show sometimes quite often that there's rooms that we can walk into where we feel special. So I understand that feeling. That space is kind of well needed from time to time to recharge the soul of what we do, right?
I mean, like, in a world that kind of lacks community spaces and like church isn't as dominant of a place for people to gather, I feel like it's like one of those spaces, there you go, that was nice, that you can actually see your friends, you can connect with people, meet new people, enjoy good music and whatever it is that, that magic that happens in being in a space and sharing music together.
All right, let's see what he's got here for the second shot.
Nope,
Slides
too low.
it on in there. All right.
Behind the tree.
Sneaker attack. You also are pretty good at podcasting too. I know you said it kind of came to an end, but the Crate Diggers podcast was pretty successful, I thought.
Yeah, I really love doing it. Like, podcasting is something I listen to more podcasts than I probably listen to music right now. It just is a great way to feel connected to things in a time where it's really easy to feel disconnected. And so I also have an insane record collection. So it was a
Yes.
good excuse to get together and play music. And like, when you're a record nerd, you just want to share like your cool new records, and like your friends can come through and share theirs. And also then it created this like bonding experience of going, why do you have the records you have? Like, what is it that drew you to this music? What kind of music did your mom play cleaning the house growing up? Like, that stuff influences you from then on, and so it kind of like dictates the type of artist they become later on. So you can really glean personality and stuff by the type of music that they like.
Well, if there's one thing that we share together, then that's a common love for records. I like to call an interesting amount in my small apartment.
I have more than an interesting amount and an obnoxious amount, and so far that I don't even have them all at my place. Oh, it was in. You got robbed. All right, let's.
I always
just do
like
this.
that when you can find. That's one thing about record collecting. I love it when you just get to find something. Hey, there we go. When you just get to find something you know that like very few people have, or as many records as I've looked at in my life, I'm always amazed. Like, oh, there's one that I've never seen before.
Oh,
Wow.
every time I find a vein of records that are new to me, I'm always like, it's exciting. I've been to record stores around the country, and I go to one every city I can find. So if I can find some weird cassette tape or a strange pressing. I went up to a spot up in Vancouver, BC, or excuse me, in Victoria. It's called Supreme Echo, and the dude had all of these like prog records from Estonia because he lived in Eastern Europe for a long time. And I was like, oh, this is incredible. This is new music I've never heard of, artists you'd never hear of. And yeah, it was, getting to dig stuff that's fresh is the dream for every crate digger out there.
You're a bit of a producer too, right?
Done very little. That's mostly the world of my friends. Like, I have so many great producer friends that I'm like,
You've worked with Taupe.
Work with Taupe.
Yeah.
Shout out Taupe. I miss you, brother. Let's see. Lost Spoken and I lived together for a while. My brother Steez is a producer, and then you may know Calvin Valentine, aka G-Force, was a good friend, and I always supply him with, fresh stuff to chop up and make new beats out of. And he works with Illa J now, so it's
they
like,
probably love you. Yeah, they're like, what have you been finding? Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Got to pass on whatever you find. Like that's the fun.
This is
part of
actually
it.
one of the few holes that I've actually got a hole in.
I think this is one that you could do it. I'm not
could.
going to, but it's a possibility.
All right, here we go.
Nope.
Got it skidded. Well, it's over there at least.
I'm staying so low.
It's over there. All right, rip it, Birdy. Let's see what you got.
Okay.
We were just checking out the lineup for the thesis.
Yeah.
You got Bremer. Bremer's going to be joining the show for, it looks like, his second time here pretty recently.
Man, yeah, like it's really hard to deny the energy and effort he's put in recently, and one of the things we like to do is reward that type of stuff.
Yo, there you go.
Also, we like to build artists from like early on stages to, like middle of the road to headlining our shows. So it's really nice to see that progression. You're getting there.
Almost there, Birdy. Almost there, Birdy. That whole camp has actually been working pretty tough.
Yeah. See, and I love that. And that's one thing that a lot of artists that come to me and they're like, I can't do this, I can't do that. And it's like, well, that's because you need a team to do it. Like, it's so hard to do everything yourself. The thesis is not one person. All of these things that every time that somebody tells you they did it all by themselves, they're full of shit. That's just not how the world works.
I think I like to say you can do good things by yourself, but really to do something great, you got to have some people.
Absolutely.
Do you have a team that's working that you can mention that's helping you with the thesis currently?
Oh, absolutely. So the thesis started with, thank you. The thesis started with Max Smith. So if you're familiar with Max Smith, he runs We Out Here magazine, and he was an artist here for a long time, and then produces events, and he's just a community leader, and he's just one of the best people I know. And then we have Blake Hickman, who had been the head of KPSU when we first started the thesis.
Oh, all right.
And he does stuff with Vortex now, Vortex Music Magazine.
All right.
And then, robbed. Then early on, we had this incredible woman named Janessa who helped kind of stylize our event and come up with some of our first artists who were on the show. And our first show was pretty incredible. It was Shirty was on it.
Young Shirt Man.
My boy Shirty. Fontaine was on it. It was maybe his first or second ever show.
Dope. All right.
Load B was on it. And then Hanif came and was our special guest. So, like, we had,
Hell yeah.
from show one, we've, like, tapped in with good people and helped build cool artists. So,
Big up to Shirty. Good friends with his mother, actually, for many years. So, yeah,
I
shouts
don't-
to Shirty.
he's one of the most lovable people I've ever known. So, shout out to Shirty. I miss you, Shirty. Hope you're doing well.
I got to see him. One of my favorite Portland stories, actually. I got to see him at Amps and Ramps 2.
Okay.
He, of course, did Young Shirt Man Ain't Got a Shirt on, right? The whole place went nuts. My 10-year-old son and I freaked out. And that same night, an amp actually caught on fire in the middle of the half pipe during the rap show.
There you go. I mean, that's legendary.
Come on.
And also, it proves my point that sometimes you remember the things that went wrong better than the shows that went perfect.
Yeah.
So every once in a while when people are like, oh, this fucked up, I'm like, it's the one thing people are going to remember from the whole show. Like, everything else, they'll forget how smooth everything was. They'll remember how much fun they had. If you roll with the punches on a show when something fucks up, that'll be a highlight of the show. Guaranteed.
Give me some of the speed bumps, if you will. I know we had a little short chance to talk before we started. I'll give away the sauce of what it takes to run a podcast for someone and tell them the equipment. But like you were saying, finding the time, the energy, and the consistency to do it.
Yeah.
What are some of the obstacles maybe that you ran into that you were able to overcome with something as long-lasting as the Thesis?
I mean, consistency's one. It's just like making sure you're working with artists, bringing in the right types of artists, building something unique every time. Like, you don't want to keep repeating yourself. You don't want the same crowd at the same show. You don't want just 4 friends that are all together.
Right.
Because then it's just their friends in the crowd, and then no one gains anything. So the other thing is trying to delete some of the toxic issues that happen with shows. I grew up going to shows with like 12 dudes that rapped, and they're all straight dudes, and a lot of them straight white dudes. And I feel like hip-hop could do better at making sure that it's a safe space and a healthy space for both women and LGBTQIA plus
Let's go. Yeah.
artists, because like, isn't the dream of it all to be a better and more perfect society, and we can come together and like delete some of the issues that we have faced since the beginning of it. So
Right.
That's great, yeah.
let's see, the other speed bumps are keeping up with all the drama and shit. Everybody's hitting me up saying I can't do shows with this guy, I can't do that. The Thesis is Switzerland. It's a neutral country. I can't keep up with your bullshit.
United then. We're united here across the street. Let's
Right?
go, yeah.
It's just, there's too much of it. And also, like, we're such a small city that could do so much better together that I just have to bypass some of that stuff that's like, that's going to be over in a few weeks anyway. So, yeah, if we can go past it.
How about this one then? What was the last time that someone sent you a message or said something to you personally congratulating you on your efforts? Because this event is big, it's...
I mean, it's really easy. Last night I went out to Meeting of the Minds. Shout out DJ OG1.
Let's go,
Shout
big
out
ups.
DJ Cliff. And all the people that were there was incredible. I love Aspen was there, of course, because Aspen's
Shouts,
everywhere. Julian was out
Big
there.
ups to Mr. Outlaw.
Static was out there. It was
Let's
just
go.
a cool group of people. And as I walked in, I just heard nice things from OG1 and Cliff about, the Thesis setting some kind of standards and some kind of bar to be held for shows where it's like, oh, you can do so much more than just like have 4 of your homies jump up on stage and ruin 30 people's evening. So
For $25.
yeah, for $25. The other thing is we pay our artists, so
Oh, there we go. Speak
that's
on
the
it,
other
speak
thing
on
is
it,
like
yeah.
that's got to be part of it is we make sure that our artists get paid for doing the shows, because So many people do shows for free, and I understand because I've done a number of free shows, but it's also, if you want to be an artist, that's not sustainable, and we need to build a culture where we make sure that we pay people what they're worth and like charge the door what it's supposed to be charged and make sure that people get paid. Like,
And based on your curation, the people that are at the Thesis, they're worthy of that.
and that's the thing is like, I also want to bet on artists that are worth $20 to come out for a night and like see 4 really unique sets. And we tell people to do their set on full blast, like do the set you've always wanted to do, bring out whoever you want to bring out, like make it a unique set for the night. Don't just do your 4 songs that you normally do and then walk off. Like do something special here, like make this unique. And then also, if you do that, I'm happy to move you on to the headliner, and we'll have you rocking the show.
What
We'll
did
have you on the
Roulette
poster.
say? Roulette, one of my favorite Roulette quotes. He says, "I perform whether there's 2 or 20,000.
Right.
They get the same." So.
And there are people who can only rock the stage that Snoop Dogg's about to rock afterwards. You know, like they can bring that energy for a big stage, but they do not know how to rock a crowd of 100. Like they don't have this is something I was talking about last night, is when you're performing, people have heard your songs or they have a chance to hear your songs. It's that time in between that you actually are getting to divulge who you are as a person and who you are as an artist. And so that I love when artists figure out how to make that in between time like connective, instead of just like yelling at your DJ or waiting for the next song to start in dead silence or whatever it is that awkward people do. Anyway, it's just learning how to be on stage and be an MC. You know, have fun, and people have fun with you.
We got to give a special shout out to our sponsor this month too, Smacktown.
Smackdown.
Let's go.
Portland, George, and Smacktown.
Let's go.
We love us nice Smacktown burger, of course. Oh, look at my
See-
man. Whoa,
see, this is what pros
laser,
do.
bro. Look at that.
This is what
Look
pros
at
do.
that. He threw it to the parking lot.
Can you guys edit that so that was my
Wow.
toss on that one?
Wait for your drink.
Well, we ran through about 15 minutes pretty quick. On the way out here, I want to give some special love, shout outs, PSAs before we wrap this up.
There's one person I didn't mention when I was talking about the Thesis, and I think he's like an integral part of Portland hip hop, and it's Caso De Niro. Caso De Niro is our graphic designer for all of our posters, but also he's doing the artwork for almost everybody. If you knew how many pieces he had his hands on, you would kind of be shocked at what Portland hip hop would look like without him. So shout out to Caso De Niro and all of the incredible work he always does. And Mac Smith, always loved my brother Mac Smith. And everybody comes out and supports the Thesis. Like
Let's go.
we want to keep it going. We love being able to put on new artists. That was just like him. It was perfect. And yeah, shout out to Portland. I love this city, and this is what we do it for. I got to do a lot of the shows that I wanted to do as a kid. You know, I rocked with artists that meant a lot to me. I want to make sure people have those opportunities going forward, and that's what we're trying to do now. So
Love
keep
your
it
vibe, love your message, great charisma.
appreciate it, man.
D+ disc golf player.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's bring it in for across the street on 3 here. 1, 2, 3, cross the street. Cheers, friend.
Birds.